Hi folks, welcome back to another episode of the Single Dad's Cookbook. Today we're going to be making chicken stew. Now, I've been asked for some slow cooker recipes, one pan recipes, and this ticks both of those boxes. I don't have a slow cooker, but this can easily be made in the slow cooker and forget about it. So what you're going to need is some chicken. I've got some chicken breast there, some butter, garlic, leek, carrot, onion, mushrooms. I've got some new baby potatoes, some salt, some pepper, paprika, and some oregano, and we're going to use a bit of basil in a little bit. So I've got the butter on in the pan, just melting with a little bit of oil, just so it doesn't burn. And all I'm going to do is just chop these carrots into cubes. This is a great meal that you can sort of put on. If you have got a slow cooker, this honestly would be perfect for it, because you could just put it on, forget about it, and then come back to it later on. Once I've cut the carrots up, you want to cut your onion up. Again, relatively the same size, so that everything cooks right through. You're also going to need about 1.5 pints of stock, because you're going to be cooking the potatoes in the stock. So, and I've obviously used chicken stock with this. So, as you're chopping everything up, you just, again, take your time. There's no mad rush. I get all the vegetables cut up first, just so that it's less washing up. You're not cutting the chicken, having to clean up the boards and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just getting all my prep work done on the vegetables first. As soon as I'm cut up this onion, I'm also going to just get that in the pan. So you can see there, the butter's melted. Looks like there's quite a bit of butter in there. It was probably about 2 teaspoons I should say, of butter, and then I'm just going to put all the carrots and all the onion in there to soften and saute down, and I'm going to put in a bit of salt and a bit of pepper in with them, and then I'm going to leave them to cook. So just get all them covered, and then you just leave them to soften, and you can go back and chop up the other veggies that you're going to add in a bit later. So you can see here, just a bit of seasoning, nothing too strenuous to start with. You're just going to be building up the flavouring. Again, in the slow cooker, if you've thrown it all in at once, again, it would work. You just need to put it all in and just watch and be careful with the balancing of the flavours. So give that a stir, and then we're going to move on to the leek and the mushrooms. So onto the leek. So we've just washed the leek through, making sure that all the dirt and grime, and I've top and tailed it, and I'm just going to slice that up into the similar bits. You can see those little papery bits at the end. You don't want to be eating them, so you just want to get rid of them. They're not enjoyable. They don't break down, so just get rid of them and then keep chopping. Now, you can use spring onions at this stage if you've not got leek. So it would add a little bit of a sweetness, I suppose. But if you're going to make a stew, you've got to sort of have leek in that. Now I've washed the mushrooms, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to quarter them. I've also put the leek in the frying pan, just so that they're softening down as well. And I've put the mushrooms in the frying pan as well. Now with these baby potatoes, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut them into 4s. That's it, like if you were going to make wedges. Now I'm popping them in a bowl, and I've got some, I'm going to cover them in water just so that they don't go brown, because you're not going to add the potatoes in straight away, and any little bits there that again that look like aren't going to be enjoyable, just get rid of. So got all that. Now I'm going to chop up a couple of cloves of garlic, just going to finely dice that. And once you've done that, you're going to get that into the frying pan as well, or the pot that you're using, just so that everything's coming together beautifully. So just thinly slicing it. You could grate it, again, it's either or. You can do that. I just like to do it this way, just quickly run through. It breaks down in the stew because you're going to cook it for a little while. So that goes in. Guys, if this is your first video that you've come across, if you can, hit the like and subscribe button and comment below if you're going to try it. That would be much appreciated. So you can see there, everything's softened down. Into this now, I'm going to add in some oregano, probably a tablespoon worth of oregano. And then I'm going to add in some paprika. Again, probably 1 tablespoon of paprika. Just so it's got that nice richness, that smokiness at the back. So you can just give it all a good old mix there. Then, once you've done that, you've given it a mix. I'm going to pop that back on. Give it a shake around, make sure everything's covered in those spices and herbs. Then we're going to get on to the chicken. So onto the chicken breast. Now, I've said it a couple of times, it's really easy just to throw stuff in, but you've got to keep an eye on chicken breast, because there you go, big bit bone, and you don't want to be biting into that. You don't want to be biting into anything, because it can put you off the full meal. I've done it before, and it stopped me eating lamb for a good few years, and you want to make sure that if you are cooking it, especially if it's for the kids or you've got guests coming around, the last thing you want to be doing is for them to be biting into something and then hear a crunch or a bit gristle. It's just not nice. So all I'm doing here is I am just cutting up the chicken breast, and I'm just going to I mean, you can't really see because I'm taking over the whole shot there, but I'm just making sure there's no any extra bits of fat on there, because this is a stew. You want it to break down. If you were going to be frying it off, yep, I understand fat is flavour, and if you've got chicken thighs and you're roasting that off, absolutely beautiful. However, this isn't. This is a stew that I'm just going to throw in everything into one pot, so you want it to be as lean as possible. Now, once you've given everything a clean down, you want to add some pepper into this. I'm not adding any salt because the stock that I use isn't low sodium. If you're using low sodium, you need to balance the salt out. And so it's just pepper and some basil into that. Again, probably a tablespoon of basil in there. And then I'm just going to give that a mix. And then once we've mixed that in, over to the pan, and we're just going to pop that in. Just put it all in. So again, it's just dumping everything into one pot. You can, again, like I say, the slow cooker, you would just put all this in at once and just let it all cook together, break down and be beautiful. But you can see pretty much straight away it's starting to pick up, it's starting to colour, and you just want to get that all in, mix it all in, make sure the flavours are getting covered and the chicken is hitting the base of the pan so that it picks up a little bit quicker. And then you just want to make sure that everything is mixed so that you can move on to the next stage. And you want to leave this now for a few minutes just so that the chicken starts to get colour, and you'll see it there. You can see it's starting to go white. It's not fully cooked through because it's going to cook through in the liquor. And I've got there a couple of these stock cube jellies. This is just before it's pre-made. I'm just going to sort of amalgamate that in there, and then I'm going to add in some water. You can have the pre-made chicken stock, you can use chicken cubes, whatever you've got, whatever you prefer, that's what you use, because this is down to your flavours and your taste buds. And then you see there, I'm just adding a little bit of water to start with, and the reason for that is I just want to lift any bits off the base of the frying pan, because that's all flavour. So I'm just giving it a mix around, and then I'm going to top this up with water to get it right up to the lid, I suppose, the edge of the pan. So once you've got it all mixed in, you top up your water, and you can see there I'm topping it up, not scared. We've got that all the way. I've left a little bit of a gap because I'm going to actually add in the potatoes. So and you're going to cook the potatoes in the chicken stock with all that extra flavour from the onions, the leek, the carrot, all those herbs and spices as well that you've put in there. So we pop the potatoes in. While I'm doing that, I just want to take this moment to say thank you for all the lovely messages. I do read them all. I do try and respond if you've got any questions. I know that there's a few of you trying the Chinese chicken curry from my guilty pleasure video, and it means the world to me that you guys are trying these, and we're closing in quite quickly on 100 videos already, so that'll be a nice little landmark to hit. So you just want to make sure that all your potatoes that you've put in are submerged. Then you want to come back to that in about 15-20 minutes. Well, when the potatoes have cooked through, so you can see they're bubbling away, looks absolutely beautiful. Potatoes are breaking up, which is great. They'll add a little bit of thickening agent themselves. Chicken's cooked through perfectly, and now all I'm going to do here, it is a bit runny, so I'm just going to add in a corn flour slurry, just to thicken that up, just to give it that luxurious sort of stew feeling. And you can see there, just adding that in, and it actually started to thicken up pretty much straight away without taking away any of the flavour. And then once you've left that for a few minutes, and literally it started to thicken up immediately, you want to just plate this up. Now you can have this on its own, as it's a meal in one, or you can have a big slice of crusty bread next to it, or just normal bread to mop up all that beautiful gravy, sauce, whatever you want to call it. But this dish is great for the winter. It's ridiculously simple. It's all in the one pan or the slow cooker. There's not lots of washing up to do, and you just want to make sure that the flavours are right. So you want to give it a quick taste. You see there, thick and gooey and unctuous, and you just want to give it a good mix, then give it a taste, balance any flavours out. I'm going to add in some flat leaf parsley just to finish it off, then give that a bit of a mix through. A bit of pepper as well, just needed a little bit more on that, but it's your taste buds, and you don't have to add in the parsley if you don't have it, but you can see there it's turned into a nice thick stew that the kids in the family will love. Great on a cold day, great on a weekend where you can just forget about it. It's completely up to you. So now we're just going to plate it up, and like I said, you can have this with a nice crusty bit of bread, bit of butter, or just have it on its own. Guys, I really hope you are looking after yourselves out there, and making sure that you and your family are all looked after. From my family to yours. Till the next time, Single Dad signing off. Thanks for watching.